Okay, so in my last article, I discussed a couple of the current theories for who created God. I also outlined some things that support and do not support these theories. Out of all the arguments between evolution and creationism, and science and God, I have yet to find a harder subject to bring harmony to than who created God. It is very hard for the human mind to comprehend anything of this deep nature, but yet, still, the subject gets a lot of ridicule from outside people and outside sources on both sides of the fence. I mean to go on from the last video, but before I do, I simply want to point out that we and everything in our universe supposedly came from nothing or something. I just want to reiterate that. Well, what we know, um, that to come from nothing is impossible, as I stated on the last video. So all of us, everything in this universe had to come from something. That means that something has always existed, whether it was God or some form of energy that was part of what God is now. Something has always existed. Scientifically speaking, something cannot come from nothing. It's impossible. So in the last article, we established that God has always been, and nothing created him. Then it is most probable that God didn't start out as the sophisticated being that he is now, because, well, we were created in his image, or the image that he is now. The sophisticated being that is God is the image that we were created in, as it states in the book of Genesis, for those who believe in the Bible. But God might have begun as a very basic form of energy, or maybe even a couple of particles that created energy in a certain wavelength, because energy can come from moving particles. Now, these particles could have moved very slowly at first. They could have been pulled in by each other's gravitational force, and then maybe they moved faster and faster until there was enough energy to create a single thought, because thinking actually is a form of energy. Then another thought and another thought came about until there was an entire thinking energy, or a sequence of thoughts. Then our thinking energy, or this thinking energy, started to organize things into items for better understanding. Then this thinking energy learns to organize itself into consciousness. Then this conscious energy organizes itself into an actual being. This being is God, the beginning and the end, because what was in the beginning was part of God, therefore it is God, so God is the thing that has always been. And then, of course, God begins to create an entire universe within his thinking energy. He then created a physical universe with everything that we know of now, that continues to expand throughout time, thus bringing about the Big Bang Theory, creating the processes for evolution, and all of those other fun things. So you might be saying, hold on a second, that would mean that God hasn't always been, but was created contrary to what was pointed out in the first video. Well, actually, I think I just said that whatever was in the beginning was part of what God is now. It's most likely some form of energy, I would think, that would be in the beginning, because, well, everything in the universe actually breaks down into energy. Every cell, every particle in the physical universe that we know of actually breaks down into energy of some kind, of some wavelength. So, whether it be some form of energy or particle movement of some kind, and that became the sophisticated God that we now know that the Bible has told us about, or the scriptures. Um, I don't know for sure, but this is simply to open the mind to different possibilities, that if there is a God, um, then that is what I believe would be most probable for how he came about. Therefore, God has always been. I will actually explain further evidence of this in the next part of the video for who created God. Um, you're really the one who makes the decision for what you choose to believe. Um, there's the atheistic view that will say that there's no way that God could exist because um, we have the evolutionary means that brought intelligent life about. Well, that's all fine and dandy, but this simply points out more possibilities, because when it comes right down to it, the universe is so vast and there's so much knowledge out there that we have yet to uncover, or that maybe we may never uncover in our sphere, our current sphere of reality in the physical universe. So this is simply to point out different possibilities. Alrighty, be sure and catch the next video on this, video number 3 for Who Created God. I'll actually explain why this is more probable that a being came from forms of energy and sophisticated itself, rather than the process of evolution, which I do believe in, by the way, just happening so perfectly all by itself without any outside intelligent design. So anyway, stay tuned. Thanks.